What's up guys, my name is Ace, and we have a brand new division in CoD WW2. This is the Commando division, as well as a couple of new basic training skills. We have Remedy, as well as Catalyst. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Commando division, as well as Remedy in great detail. I'm not just going to be talking about it here and basically just reading off the perks or anything. I actually did some very deep testing here, and I'm going to share all of those results with you. Keep in mind with Catalyst, I will be covering this in its own video. It's got enough unique properties that I feel like it deserves its own video, but Remedy is essentially one of the perks that's built into Commando, so I thought it made sense to include those two together. So let's hop into the Commando division here, and first up for our Tier 1 division training skill, we have a TAC insert, essentially. So what happens here is when you choose Commando, you will automatically have a tactical insert applied to your tactical within your class. You can't get rid of this if you're using the Commando division. You can't swap it out for a stun grenade. You have to have the tactical insertion on your class. Now, as for the behavior of this tactical insertion, it's not like we've seen from the past, like in Black Ops 2, for instance, where when you die, you just respawn right on top of that TAC insert. What happens in this game is you parachute from the sky directly above your TAC insert and you drop straight down. As you're dropping down, you can't control it at all. You can't move side to side. You just come straight down. The only thing that you can control here is the speed at which you fall. If you hold down L3 on PS4 and also Xbox, it's L3. I'm not too sure what the button will be on PC, but it will prompt you for that. If you hold that button down, you will fall to the ground faster. And also keep in mind, as you're falling, you can shoot at enemies. The big key here, though, is enemies can shoot back at you, and they can first off kill you if they shoot you directly, or they can take out your parachute, which is a much easier target to hit, and then you will fall to the ground and you'll die unless you have the energetic basic training skill. If you have energetic and an enemy shoots your parachute out of the sky instead of shooting you in the body, you can fall to the ground nearly instantly, survive it because energetic makes it so you take no fall damage, and then you're right into the fight nice and quickly. Another important thing to mention here is you can't place a tactical insertion if you're inside a building or you have some sort of overhead cover, and the simple reason for that is you can't parachute outside of the map or on top of a building, so you can only place this if the skies are clear above you. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention with the parachutes is actually something that came from one of my Twitter followers, which, by the way, if you guys aren't following me on Twitter yet, link down in the description below. This is from Pure Stealth, and he mentioned the fact that flat guns do counter the Commando tactical insertion. As you parachute down to the ground, the flat gun will destroy the parachute and knock your enemies out of the sky as they're parachuting in, which is relatively situational, but also really good to know. Moving on to the second perk for the Commando division, we have the ability to heal faster as well as start healing immediately after you get a kill. So looking at the first part where you simply heal faster, assuming you haven't recently gotten a kill, normally with standard healing, it takes 5 seconds just to initiate the healing. So when you take damage, for 5 full seconds, you don't actually heal at all. You're in a period where you're waiting to be healed. Then after 5 seconds, you start healing, and depending on how much damage you take, it'll take up to a couple seconds to fully heal. With the Commando division, like I said, assuming you haven't killed anybody recently, that 5 seconds is now dropped to 3 seconds, so there's a period of 3 seconds you have to wait before the healing begins, and then you'll reach full health within about half a second, pretty much regardless of how much damage you've taken. It's nearly instant after that 3 seconds, you will make it up to full health. So definitely very noticeably faster healing with the Commando division. Keep in mind this is exactly how Remedy works as well, and Remedy isn't tied to the division, it's actually its own unique basic training, so you can use it with other divisions, but that's exactly how Remedy works as well. They've got the exact same stats. Also, it's fairly obvious to a lot of people, but some people will be asking, you cannot stack the effects of the Commando division health regeneration as well as the Remedy health regeneration. You'll get the exact same regen times. Now, the second part to that division training skill, though, and this is something that doesn't apply to the Remedy basic training, only to the Commando division, when you get a kill, if you are hurt, it will immediately trigger healing. What this means is you skip that 3-second wait time. You just immediately start healing, and once again, like I said, this is very, very fast, nearly instant. We're looking at most about 600 milliseconds. So this part of the division is very, very powerful for getting back in the fight faster. This brings us to the third division training skill for Commando, and with this one, multi-kills will give you extra score as well as extra ammo. So I did a bunch of testing on this for you guys. First up, let's focus on the extra score. The way this works is if you get a double kill, you will get 25 extra score. For every kill on top of that, as you keep that kill chain going, so if you get like a triple or a quad, for instance, for every kill that you stack on top of that, you get an extra 5 points on top of that 25 points. So if you get a double kill, that's 25 points. But if you add a third kill onto that, you get another 30 points. If you add a fourth kill onto that, you get another 35 points. up to a maximum of 50 points per kill. So if you get a real kill chain going where you're just non-stop killing enemies, it does cap out at 50, but this extra score definitely will add up over time. As for the extra ammo that you gain for getting multi-kills, this is fairly straightforward. If you get a double kill, you will get one extra magazine that goes into your reserve ammo. It doesn't go straight into your magazine like energetic, for instance. It goes into your reserve ammunition. You get one extra magazine. If you turn that into a triple kill, you get another extra magazine. Turn that into a quad kill, you get another extra magazine, and so on. Although at that point, you'll probably be maxed out on how much ammo you can carry. This is an excellent replacement for forage. No need to go and pick up any forage packs because double kills happen fairly frequently in this game, I find, especially if you're relatively aggressive. And therefore, if you're using the Commando Division and you have it ranked up to at least tier 3, ammo should never really be an issue for you. So finally, this brings us to the last division training skill for Commando, and with this, you get a second basic training skill, which is something people have been asking for a very long time. And this one's relatively straightforward and self-explanatory. You get to choose a second basic training on your class. However, I want to mention that there are restrictions, thankfully. So you can't necessarily use every combo. You can't use ordnance combined with requisitions. Thank God. I would absolutely hate it if that were the case. You can't combine those. You can't combine Blitzkrieg with any of the other score streak basic trainings. So you can't use Blitzkrieg and requisitions or Blitzkrieg and ordnance. Also, I do want to mention Specialist can be used, but you don't get that second basic training skill that you spawn with by default. It just works as if you only had one basic training skill. So you can use Specialist, you can pick your 3 perks to get your Specialist bonus, but you can't pick another basic training on top of Specialist to spawn with. And with that, that's pretty much it. That's how the Commando Division works. I see this as being a very powerful division for people that are confident with going on streaks and are relatively aggressive. For people that really like to hang back and not get in the fight at all, I would say it's probably not going to be your best bet. Overall, my thoughts on this division: at first, I was extremely skeptical when I saw it was a tactical insertion, and honestly, I still have kind of mixed feelings about this. I think we need to see how things go once things settle and the honeymoon phase is over and not every single person on the map practically is running attack insert. Traditionally, I've always hated tactical insertions because it essentially destroys that concept of map control, where every kill that you get, you can capitalize on that map control, you can push the enemies back, and I think that's how Call of Duty should work, especially in objective game modes. It's all about gaining that map control, and getting those kills means you gain map control. With attack inserts, that kind of gets thrown out the window. I will say, however, I like the counterplay that they included with this, where you parachute in, so you're kind of a sitting duck up in the sky, and it's fairly easy to pick people off as they're coming down, as long as you're paying attention to that. And also, I like the fact that you can't put attack insert if you have something overhead. So if you're inside a building, you won't be able to place it because you can't parachute on top of that building, because that's how Call of Duty maps work. So if they absolutely insist on including a tactical insertion, I think they've done a pretty good job of that. Although personally, I would prefer if it wasn't in the game at all. As for the other aspects of Commando, I really like them. I like the faster health regen. I always thought that should be one of the perks or one of the basic training skills. And I like that they've also implemented it into a division. In addition to that, the ability to gain extra score as well as extra ammo for getting multi-kills and being aggressive, I love that idea as well. I think that's great. And finally, the second basic training skill, I like how they implemented that as well. I like the fact that there are certain restrictions and you can't have ridiculously powerful setups there, although maybe there's some that I'm overlooking at the moment. But I'm especially glad you can't stack things properly with requisitions to make it even more powerful. So overall, I love the Commando Division so far. Not a big fan of the attack inserts, but also I can deal with them with the way that they were implemented. Of course, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what are you guys thinking of this Commando Division so far? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Let me know those thoughts in the comment section below. Now, before we wrap this up, I just wanted to mention I will be doing a gun guide on the brand new gun that came out. It's the gun that you get for prestiging the Commando Division. I might need a couple days to get everything together, so expect that within the next 2 to 3 days or so. I should have a gun guide available for that. Also, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm going to be covering the new Catalyst basic training skills separately, because there's quite a bit going on with Catalyst that I didn't catch at first, and you guys might not be aware of all the effects that Catalyst has. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.